Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Install the Payable Forms add-on, link your payment provider, share, and get paid. Your customers can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more. Save time and hassle by automating your payment process quickly and simply. Payable Forms gets you paid.
And welcome everybody one last time. Day 10 of the 2024 Transatlantic Cup, coming to you live from beautiful Colonel Samuel Smith Park on the campus of Humber College in Toronto, Ontario. I'm Patrick McNeil. I'll be joined alongside David Smith for this opening game of the final day. It's de facto third place game between two longtime rivals. Should be a cracking game of footy today between Great Britain and France. David, it's been a great event, a great 9 days thus far. Day 10 coming up of footy, and as I said, it ends up being basically a third place game. Should be a great one today between these two teams that have a rivalry, I think, in any sport they play in.
Absolutely, battle of the channel, you might say, here today. France had a really good tournament, but we're unlucky to not make the semifinal because of the tournament format. I think this is going to be a real cracker of a matchup. I think France will be really motivated in this game, and I'm sure Great Britain will bring it as well.
Yeah, and of course, the final game for both of these teams, so both of them want to go on a win. They both want to prove their superiority. First time they've had the chance to play each other. Take a look at some of the players to watch here, David.
Absolutely. Two forwards players to watch in this game for Great Britain. Oliver Louis from the Wandsworth Demons. He's number 16, a 21-year-old forward. For France, it's Thomas Lachelle, Big Toto. You'll see him out there. He's a big unit. He's from the ALFA Lions. He's a 28-year-old forward. He'll be 96 for France here today. Yeah, certainly have seen a lot of the offense for France run through him as he had been named man of the match previously. Let's take a look at the keys of the game. For Britain, short kicks, they want to be first to the ball and use this to build their program. Obviously, both teams disappointed they haven't made the grand final, but use this to build the program. France wants to run early and often, get in front. They don't want to trail Great Britain in this game, and let's have some fun. I think that's probably both teams will want to have that today.
And of course, these two teams have finished tied in the Vision Glass Toronto Tournament standings. They're the GTA exotic car experts, specializing in auto glass, convertible tops, and sunroofs. Third member of the broadcast team is Down South USAFL's Brian Barish.
Thank you very much, Pat. Well, these two teams might be the beneficiaries of the best weather of the day. The sun is out. It's only 17 degrees right now. It's not going to get too much warmer during the course of the day. There are some showers and thunderstorms about that might affect the later games, but for these two, they're going to have a sunny day. A little bit of a wind blowing right now towards the Toronto end, but couldn't ask for better conditions.
Yes, thank you, Brian. Certainly looking forward to that. As I said, it is a very important game for my money. Again, these teams both posted 3 wins and 1 loss, so it ends up being a de facto third-place game and some pretty good football played by these teams as it's gone on. As we are going to go down to the middle of the field, umpires going to get us underway. We'll be piped in with their audio as well, thanks to the great folks at Either Live. As again, this is the first game of the final day, so game 28 of 30 of this tournament. As we get set to go, as again, myself and David Smith, Brian Barish is working on the boundary here as we are next to Lake Ontario here on the shores. It's been a beautiful week here. Look forward to more great footy today. Later, we have Ireland and the USA coming up in the men's and women's grand final. Women's game will be after this one, and then the men's will take us home to conclude this tremendous week and a half or so of Australian football as we wait to go to the ball up. David Smith will tell us all about it.
Yeah, we'll have Joe Moore in the ruck here for Great Britain. We're just about ready to go. This good battle here between Great Britain and France. Really intriguing matchup. Last consolation match before the 2 grand finals. Picked up by Great Britain. Here is Ryland. Ryland with the ball. Kicks towards the pocket. That finds grasp. Bouncing towards the boundary. And that's batted towards the boundary by the French defender. And looks like this will be a boundary throw in deep in the pocket in the Toronto end here, as Great Britain with the territorial ground here to start this consolation matchup. Ball is up off the defender's hands. Here's a kick, but right to number 1 Oliver Reese of the Cardiff Panthers. So this should be another Ford 50 entry for Great Britain. A little bit of a shuffle. High kick off of the hands of number 7, Denton. He's the co-captain. And there's a whistle and a ball up in the Toronto end.
Yeah, numbers to the contest to the goal square for both teams. We get a ball up. The umpire gets it. So 50-50 proposition here for Great Britain as they are charging towards getting the first score of this game. Great Britain pressure again. France today is in blue. They're kicking left to right in your screen to the visitmississauga.ca end. You should visit mississauga.ca. And of course, Great Britain will be kicking towards the Toronto end. Ball kicked out towards the goal square, tapped out. Of course, these two nationalities with the same colors in their flag as the ball is just kept in play. Still on the boundary here. Great work by Either Live staff to capture the pictures here for you today. A kick from a bit of a sharp angle, and it's marked out in front of the goal square there, as France will have an opportunity for a key. Boy, the pressure was immense there after the decision to play on. As I was going to say, a key kick out to try to clear the defensive 50, and not quite. Marked by Great Britain, an opportunity here from about 50 meters out to produce a first score of the game, perhaps.
Yeah, it'll be a long kick, possibly kick for goal. See if he'll try to find a teammate. We are approaching 2 minutes gone here in this first quarter. No score. Consolation match. It's a low laser beam of a kick. It's a little bit right, and it's a behind. First point of the game goes to Great Britain. On the Payable app scoreboard, Great Britain 1 behind 1 point. No score for France.
Yeah, and we're probably about 2.5 minutes in. Reminder, the scoreboard is unofficial. It's the umpires who have the official time as the ball is kicked to the defensive 50. It'll go along the boundary. Hands are up for both sides. Again, it is the Great Britain Bulldogs in white. The French Roosters, Le Coq in French, is in blue. As the French move the ball up the left boundary. Goes bouncing around. I think I see the remains of Lake Holden there on the Lake Ontario side of the field. If you've been paying attention all week, you know what we're talking about. As there's pressure here from the French. Great Britain trying to get it out of trouble here towards their defensive 50. And ball out the back. And it's booted out towards the right side near that AFL Ontario scoreboard as Here are the umpires whistle, and of course they contest games for AFL Ontario here quite regularly as France has a free kick in the middle of the field. Ball will be kicked out towards the 50-meter arc. Clear intercept, and that's a clearing opportunity here for Great Britain.
They'll clear his number 1, Oliver Rees. Kick to the wing, another mark there. Believe that's Evans. There's a bit of a worm burner. Picked up by France. That's Boucher. Kick towards the wing, and there's an intercept mark by Great Britain, so it'll go the other way. On the wing, on the Lake Ontario side, long kick down the line. It goes in the shade over the boundary line, and that will be a boundary throw-in. Looks like just outside the 50-meter arc on the Great Britain scoring end here. Bit of a breeze here early. See if that will have an effect on kicks for goal in this game. So there's a handball. Back to Rees. Another handball. Lots of pressure though by France. There's a holding the ball call, and that will be a free kick to France. So see if they can get some movement here, and another quick mark and a free kick for France.
Yeah, France sending numbers down the field and just a couple of short kicks here to try to break through that 50-meter arc. And the ball looked like it might have been marked by the Great Britain player. No such luck. Switch activated here by Great Britain. Goes across to Callum Jenkinson. Ball bouncing along the ground. It's bounced up the left side. Nice short, clean mark there to Jack Coughlin, who's been very good for Great Britain in this tournament. He'll bomb that ball towards the British forward. 50, or is that going to go for goal? Bouncing, and it's picked up on hands there by Andy Walkton, the vice captain. Centering kick across the face. I think he thought he might have had somebody in the goal square. He did not, as now going after it there is Rhys Evans, as there's a contest for it along the ground there in the British forward pocket. Ball will be kicked along the boundary, and in position to intercept mark, or pardon me, was not intercept mark, but to move the ball out was the French player Logan Bonhomme. He's been good for them this tournament. Now he's got himself an opportunity. He'll handball across to the left. There's a kick along the left boundary. It'll go bouncing. Will that be picked up by anybody? No, it's going to go out, and that will end up being at the umpire's ball.
Boundary throw in. France hasn't been able to explore Mississauga in that end here. Remember, Mississauga is yours to explore. Visit their website at visitmississauga.ca. So here's a boundary throw in.
20 is to your
and France trying to get their first point in this game. Only 1 point back to Great Britain so far in this matchup. Great Britain has control. That's Ryland, and there's a nice mark there to, I believe that's Rees. And here's a kick. Here's an open man. Adam Reed of the Wolverhampton Wolverines was totally open there. He is, looks like about, well, he'll be kicking 50 meters from goal. That's a big kick. It had the leg, but not the direction, and that will be the second behind and the second point of this game, both to Great Britain. So that's on the Payable app scoreboard. Great Britain with 2 behinds and 2 points. France, no score.
Yeah, not a ton to choose from between the two teams thus far, but obviously Great Britain making slightly more as they've had more time in the forward 50, but not an overwhelming domination by any stretch of the imagination. France trying to break out of the defensive pocket there as the ball will bounce out towards the middle of the field. Hands are up. Who wants it? Going to come to French hands there, as that was Logan Bonhomme, who was feeling the pressure there, as it was Callum Jenkinson bringing the heat, and he's going to win himself a free kick there for holding the ball. He's got an opportunity. What is he going to do? He'll kick it straight overheads, and is he going to find a mark? He was trying to find Andy Walkton, but he found Andy Walkton's hand, and then the ball bounced off him and had a play in the boundary. Umpire will claim it there at the end of the field.
Be boundary throw in here. It'll been mostly in the scoring end of Great Britain so far in this matchup, but they only have the 2 behinds to show for it. But another opportunity for them here. Boundary throw in. Early morning here on Grand Final Sunday at the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup. French defense holds. That ball goes to Bonhomme. Bonhomme with the high kick. All kinds of Bulldogs in the direction of that ball. Jeffrey gets it, kicks it towards their forward 50 area. French holds their defense. A lot of bending but not breaking for the French defense, but they're certainly going to have to get the ball down the other end of the ground if they're going to want to be in this game. Here's a boundary up. ball up. Hit by Statham. Ball on the ground. Picked up by the Great Britain, by Statham again, and is a tackle. And the umpire's call is another ball up. So it's about 45 meters from goal. Picked up off Statham to Walkden, but that kick doesn't go very far, and the French defense gains control. Loses it, though. Still not out of trouble here. All kinds of players around the ball, and that will be another ball up in the end of the ground that Great Britain wants it.
Yeah, it was good work there by Statham to win that ruck and get it to Walkden. Ultimately, Great Britain couldn't do a lot with that. Another ruck battle here, as again, it is in the British forward 50. Great Britain Bulldogs, again in white, France in blue, as the ball will be kicked towards the middle. You hear the umpires there. Great job, our either live staff to patch in that audio for us to hear the sounds of the game at ground level. And a good one we've got here going on. Pretty cagey start to this one, not much to pick from thus far. But again, it has been more territorially Great Britain, as France, I think, has had maybe one or two inside 50s. They're looking for another one right now. Ball being moved along the left side. It'll be cut towards the corridor. Hands are up. No mark to be had there, as that was Boucher that was trying to reel it in. He was not able to do so. Ball will come back onto the right side of the field, from our right, I should say, on the Lake Ontario side of the field, as the ball will be booted out to just over the 50-meter arc. No clean mark there, but good handball option executed. Attack on here for Great Britain. Boot through. That is number 27, Stephen Pup Welton. He's been very good the last few games for Great Britain. He has a key score here. They go 1-2-8. No score, France. Great Britain in the early lead on the Payable app scoreboard.
Great Britain finally cashes in on all these forward 50 entries. Nice forward play, and France had no answer on the defense on that one. They go ahead by 8 points here in this consolation game.
Yeah, great celebration by Stephen Welton, too. He has been a very fun player to watch. Stephen Welton for Great Britain. He's been key for them up front, and he's got himself a key goal here in the early part of this contest. Reminder, this is game 1 of 3 days. We have the grand finals on both the women's and men's side coming up. USA and Ireland contesting for both the men and women. Women game will be after this one, and then the men will close the day out. Ball will be kicked through the middle into the forward 50. Hands are up. Who wants it? Going to come out to Great Britain hands. Ball goes way up, and great pressure there by Decoux, who's been a factor all tournament for France. Easy to spot out with the helmet, but not easy to contain. He's got the ball. He'll do a good job of keeping that in bounds. I spoke too soon, commentator's curse. The Sheridan takes the familiar, unforgiving bounce. It'll go out, and the boundary umpire will give that a toss from the end of the field.
Boundary throw in, though, in the Visit Mississauga end, where France wants it. So this is not a bad result here for France to see if they can gain control and get a kick at goal. Ball's away off of the hands of Joe Moore of Great Britain. Ball on the ground. Both teams fighting for it. Nice little handball away, and Great Britain relieves the pressure. That kick is marked. It was a tough one by Gallagher, but he gets it. Just a little bit of room for Gallagher. Kicks it towards the middle. Chasing after it is Walkden, but he loses it. Great Britain goes back the other way. Kicks in their forward 50. Nicely defended there by number 4, Joseph Lillis. He kicks it away and into the midfield. Ball on the ground. Lots of battles there. That's, I believe, Kai Andrew looking for it for Great Britain. Free kick given to Great Britain. I believe Andrew. That kick to Sharp. He can't mark it. On the ground. Several players chasing after it now. France trying to defend this ball. Kick towards the Great Britain forward 50, but the French player gets and then gives it back. So here's a mark to Owain Ryland.
Yeah, mark in the center of the field. He's going to have a stab at it with his boot. Oh, what a catch and what a mark there, as that puts Great Britain inside 50. That is Jack Coughlin with a contender for Payable App's mark of the tournament, and that is going to put him perhaps in scoring distance. Either kick to, well, maybe a little bit too far to kick for goal, probably kick the goal square here, and what a nice catch that was. Beautiful mark there by Great Britain's Jack Coughlin, who's snagged an MVP at one point in this tournament. He'll boot that towards the middle. That's got some good distance. I said it might be too far to kick a goal. What do I know? It's a goal for Jack Coughlin. 2-2-14 Great Britain. No score France on the Payable app scoreboard.
Two pretty quick goals by Great Britain. They seem to have trouble cashing in from their forward 50 entries, but then we have two quick ones here, and they go out to the 14-point lead. We have, not sure how much, don't have the clock here right now, so it is a 14-point lead for Great Britain. There is just over 7 minutes left here in the first quarter. Not the first quarter France wanted. They wanted to get to the front early, and that hasn't been the case.
Yeah.
So we're going to have Thomas Crépon in the ruck for France. They do gain control. Here, that's a nice move. Here's a kick towards Lachelle, I believe. He gets tackled by Lillis, and see what the umpire's call is here. It's his, so that will be a ball up here just outside the goal square in the Visit Mississauga end. That's the end France wants it in this quarter. Picked up by Joe Moore, and there's a whistle here. And this will be a free kick for France. So he'll be an opportunity here for them to get their first major, first points of this game.
Everybody else,
I would say about, this will be 25 to 30 meters out. I didn't see the number. Is that Busquer?
It is Busquer, yes.
Busquer. And here he goes. Kick away. Looks pretty good. They like it. And so does the umpire, and that's the first major for France. So on the Payable app scoreboard, it's Great Britain 2 goals, 2 behinds, 14 points to France, 1 goal straight, 6 points. Really big goal for France in the context of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Capitalizing on a rare entry inside 50, and it might have been their only entry into the goal square, but they made it count. That's the important thing, as Pierre Beaucaire boots that through for a critical goal for France. Again, it is 14-6, as David was just mentioning. And we've got a good one going on here. Of course, these two teams would know each other a little bit, separated by a channel, as the ball is won by France. Pardon me, I thought it was won by Great Britain, but the umpire signals that goes back to a French free kick. As here the play on, as the allotted 15 seconds is up, ball comes up, and French are on the attack here, right around that 50-meter arc. It didn't look like there was any prior opportunity there, so that ball belongs to the umpire here. Again, the ball up will be right around that 50-meter arc. Well, easy for me to say. Tap is won initially by Great Britain. Contest to the ground, and once again. And wow, was that called holding the ball? He said
no attempt to get rid of the ball. So this is a free kick to Marco Pinto. Great name. I love one of my favorite names of the tournament. Here's a kick. It's a high one to the hot spot, off hands. Picked up and cleared by Joseph Lillis. It hits the ground though. They are able to clear to midfield. No mark there. Good battle for the ball. France wins it momentarily, but here is Adam Kelly for Great Britain. That's intercepted. French players fall, and there's a big tackle. Was that high by Sever? It's a free kick given to Sever. And that will relieve the pressure for Great Britain momentarily. Here's a kick to the wing. A little bit short, but Great Britain gains control. There's Statham. Paul bounces. France with the kick. Great Britain with numbers there. And here's Decoux. Decoux. Bit of dancing around, like those salsa dancers we had on the field yesterday. Here's a ball towards the goal square. Lots of players around, and there's a player hurt. That is Pinto, Marco Pinto. Hopefully he'll be okay. And there's a whistle.
Yeah, Pinto looked like he was favoring his left leg going off there. He's been key for France in the early going. We'll keep our eyes on that story, and we'll see if Brian gets an update for us as the ball squirts. I really liked the spoil he had there right in front of our either live broadcast location, as it is 2-2-14 Great Britain, 1-0-6 for France here on the Payable app scoreboard. As boundary throw in here from the end of the field. Will come right in that goal square, so this could be a key opportunity for France in this ruck contest. Ball is tipped backward. I think that went just like France wanted it. That kick goes up in the air as it's free for the taking if anybody can get to it. Ball's up here, and it's still bouncing along the ground, and handball out the back. Boy, so many numbers to the contest. Maybe too many numbers as teams not really giving a lot of options on the wing there as the play is blown dead. We've seen a lot of that in this tournament, David. Really pressure numbers, and sometimes that can be good, but sometimes you want to spread out a little bit to give your teammates a little bit of options around the field.
Absolutely, a lot of pressure, and it's amazing they can still do that pressure after so many games in so little days. But we are less than 2 minutes into the left here in this first quarter.
Ball is taken, free kick in the defensive 50 there, taken by Great Britain. And it's on the ground, and it's booted high. Looks for perhaps, is that going to go straight for goal? Here's an opportunity out in front. Kick for goal, and it's right through the two big sticks. That is going to be Ross Denton all alone in front. He'll boot it through. Looked like it might have been a kick to mark. Looked like it might have gone right through. Denton says, I'll pick it up. I'll put it through. Big score for Great Britain, 3-2-20. Straight one for France for 6 on the Payable app scoreboard.
Yeah, that's a big goal for Great Britain. Certainly France had a little bit of momentum there, and that was snatched from their grasp by Great Britain. So just over 1 minute left here in this first quarter. We have Kreppen and Statham in the ruck here. Say we have 1 minute left here in the first quarter. Statham with the paw on it, but it goes to France. On the ground now. Great Britain with a bit of control again. Adam Reed gets it down the field, and it goes over the boundary line and will be a boundary throw-in in the Great Britain scoring end of the ground. Oh, there's a little bit of a dust up here in the middle, and the horn goes. All the players around don't like to see this, but we have a bit of a dust up here as the first quarter ends.
Yeah, it's interesting. We saw this in a little bit of this in both the Canada-Colombia games yesterday. And I guess, the players are getting a little bit restless, perhaps. It's been a long week of footy, a lot of pent-up energy. And, as we said, France and Great Britain, when have they been known to like each other historically? So that will all get diffused at the end of a pretty good first quarter of footy to watch. And the Payable app scoreboard shows us 3-2-20 for Great Britain, 1-0-6 for France. Again, David, maybe a little bit of a cagey start to this one, so to speak, but ultimately, Great Britain getting that space in front of the goal square, and ultimately, they were taking advantage of their opportunities. We will hear from David with his thoughts in a second, but first we're going to throw to Brian Barish at the boundary.
Gentlemen, Aurelien Aubert, number 92 for France, has been shown a yellow card. He will be off the field for 10 minutes, and France will be down a man for the first 10 minutes of the second term.
Yeah, thanks for that update, Brian. And again, that's a rule you'll see in Australian football outside of the AFL as a way to kind of police the game. Of course, if you watch the AFL, you know about the tribunal system. It's more of a traditional card system in other levels of footy, although instead of getting a warning and 2 yellows, you're off. In this case, they're down a man for 10 minutes. David, just talk a little bit of what you saw there in that first quarter.
Certainly Great Britain, I think, would be happy with that quarter. They had the lead. France didn't get in front, certainly was one of the keys of the games for them. Keys of the game for them. So, good quarter for Great Britain.
Yeah, no question about that, and that is reflected on the scoreboard. Good quarter of footy, though. It's still lots to be played in this game as we're through 20 minutes. Great Britain up 3-2-20. 1-0-6 for France on the Payable app scoreboard. You're watching the 2024 Transatlantic Cup at Colonel Samuel Smith Park, the campus of Humber College in Toronto, Ontario, streaming on YouTube, courtesy of AFL Canada.
Great news, sports teams. Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Setup is easy. Install the Payable Forms add-on. Link your payment provider, share, and get paid. Players can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more, streamlining the process for them, all while you stay organized with real-time updates. registrations, uniforms, races, sponsorship, clinics, coaching, training, and classes. Keep it simple with Payable Forms.
And welcome back to the campus of Humber College and Colonel Samuel Smith Park here. And we're at the 2024 Transatlantic Cup. Great Britain and France going at it here in this de facto third place match. I'm Patrick McNeil, joined alongside by David Smith, and also joined by Brian Bearish, who's got an update for us down to the boundary.
Yeah, Pat, first the injury to Marco Pinto. It looked like he got spiked initially, but just judging by his body language, he rolled his right ankle. They're looking at it right now. He did come through the interchange gate, so if it's not too serious, he'll return. France coach Jason Quinn, after the team took a couple of deep breaths, laid into his team. He said, you know, I gave you certain instructions and you need to follow them, so hopefully they respond. Great Britain generally happy with how they are doing. Dean Thomas basically said, keep it up, boys, take the game to them. Little bits that they can improve on, but they've got a pretty decent lead and they have the sway of play so far.
Yeah, thanks for that, Brian. And it's certainly going to be an interesting second quarter, but again, you know, it is only a 14-point deficit. Still lots of football to be played, David.
Absolutely, though France will want a reply here in the second quarter. They don't want to get too far behind and have a second half where it's out of reach. So let's see how we go as we approach the start of this second quarter of this matchup between France and Great Britain. As I said, we expected a good one here, so we'll see if France can do a reply. That's off of hands. Ball on the ground, picked up by Deku. Yes, remember the helmet. Ball on the ground. Here's Great Britain. Kick towards the wing. Bounces and in the hands of Sharp. And gets a mark there. That's defended well by Richard. And that goes over the boundary. Will be a boundary throw in the pocket in the visitmississauga.can.
Stephen Welton's a bit of a menace there. Easy to identify with that flowing hair, but not so easy to contain for France as the boundary throw-in comes up. Comes to British hands initially. French will try to clear it out, but good handball out the back there, and that's going to be picked up by Kai Andrew of Great Britain. He'll turn on the afterburners. Nice little bounce of the football there. He's being pressured. He got rid of it, and he didn't get rid of it fast enough. That's holding the ball, so that is a free kick for France in the defensive pocket. And more whistles here. Again, remember, France actually playing down a man because of that yellow card that was issued there, so that's going to be a factor for the first 10 minutes of this second quarter, as we're about minute 15 here, and we perhaps have a free kick for France deep in the defensive pocket. France kicking towards Toronto this end, Great Britain kicking towards the visitmississauga.can.
This is Simon Maudet. He gets a mark on the boundary there for France. Kick down the line, over the head of the intended target. Nobody gains control momentarily off of British hands. There's a soccer kick off the ground. It goes way high, and that'll be over the boundary line. That is out on the full, and that will be a free kick for France. So France perhaps wanting to slow the game down a little bit until they get their 18th man back on the ground. Get some marks and gain control. So there's one here on the far wing on the Lake Ontario side. Kick down the line. Certainly seems to be what they're looking for here. That finds grass though. Players chasing after it. Off of the hands of Jenkinson for Great Britain, but picked up. That was picked up by Boubet. He kicks it into the pocket. It goes over the line. Will be a boundary throw in. And France gaining a little bit of the ball here, so certainly a bit better play here for them as we start the second quarter.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, despite the fact that they're trailing on the scoreboard, they might not mind that slower pace, given that they're down a man.
Lots of time left in this game, so they certainly don't have to, but you don't want to get too far behind.
No, absolutely not. And it is going to be a boundary throw in here, so an opportunity for France in the forward 50. Ball goes up. Hands are up here as we have a battle along the ground for it. And no one's able to win the football as that was squirting out, and we will get another boundary throw in here, and that's in the forward pocket for France. And France kicking towards the Toronto end. They're going right to left on your screen. Great Britain kicking from left to right towards the visitmississauga.ca, and you absolutely should visit Mississauga with its hundreds of must-see attractions, gorgeous scenery, world-class seats. Mississauga is yours to explore. As ball is kicked out towards the boundary, goes bouncing, and hands are on it. Is Stephen Welton again. Ball comes all the way to the forward 50. There's absolutely nobody there. There's a foot race to see who gets the football. It is going to be Great Britain hands, handball option. And boy, talk about a guy who's everywhere. Clement Decoux. Boy, he covers a lot of ground out there. Ball coming along the boundary here. We've got another race. Boy, all of a sudden the fast forward button has been pressed on this contest as the ball is pushed along the right side. David, you know I like listening to things on 2-speed. All of a sudden that's where this game is being played at. Ball goes into the forward 50 here for Great Britain as contest along the ground. The ball will be won by Ross Denton. He's in a contest there. He tries to push the ball out, be a hand. Jack Coughlin's there, and the pressure coming from France. And I don't know if he had opportunity to get rid of that, and we'll see what the umpire has to say about it. The umpire says that is my ball.
Game's not the only thing with greater speed. There's suddenly a big gust of wind here coming right towards us. Here's Brian Barish on the boundary.
Yeah, you mentioned the pace of the play picking up. I mentioned Jason Quinn laying into his team at halftime. He said he's almost happy that fight happened because, you know, the team looked pretty lethargic in the first term, but it looks like they've sprung the light, not the least in part to that melee at the end there.
Almost hockey style. Gotta start a fight to get your team going here. As the ball goes bouncing around, Decoux has it. As he'll handball it, comes right back to Decoux. He'll move it up. So we're getting that chain link for France at the handballs, but spoke too soon as it's going to come to Tucker. Tucker will take it for Great Britain. He'll hammer it down and contest for it in the forward 50.
Ball out in the Visit Mississauga end. That's picked up by Lefebvre. There's a nice mark by Modet. He plays on, kicks towards the French forward 50, off of hands. Still in play, but it goes over the boundary. That will be a boundary throw in. No, it's
Here to one. Yes.
Looks like it's a free kick given to France, so this will be an opportunity for them to get another forward 50 entry. They certainly had the ball more here in the second quarter. It kicked though. That's all kinds of Great Britain numbers there. I don't know if that was the kick. And they're lucky to get the boundary there, and this will be another boundary throw in. Looks like just outside the 50-meter arc, or basically right on the 50-meter arc. We have Great Britain with 20 points and France with 6 on the Payable app scoreboard. The Great Britain defense gained control, but kicks it right to the French player, and this will be a kick from about 40 meters, I would say.
Thank you, Steph.
Can't see the number, but this will be the definite chance for France. Here's the kick away. It looks like it's going short, and it just goes over. Didn't see if that went between the posts or... No, it's a behind, so that will be France's first behind, and it's Great Britain 3 goals, 2 behinds, 20 points, and France 1 goal, 1 behind, 7 points on the Payable app scoreboard.
Yeah, France certainly playing with Great Britain in this second quarter thus far, as defensive 50 kick is marked by Great Britain's Matty Morris. They'll kick it along the boundary line, and nice mark there by Matthew Gallagher. Gallagher will boot it along the right side. Another nice mark there. Good movement up the field there as Reese Evans has an opportunity. Mark, the ball will curl in. No mark to be had there, though, as battle along the ground. Good work on the ground there by Gallagher. He'll handball it across and didn't have an option. Decaux is everywhere for France. And the ball goes to ground, and not a lot of prior opportunity there, I don't think.
Working hard. It's good. Excellent.
And I think that's going to be the umpire's balls. Again, no prior opportunities. The ball will go up in forward 50 arc here. In the end that Great Britain is attacking. Ball is won by the French off the ruck. And we have a contest here.
No opportunity.
I think no opportunity there. You can hear the umpire say, but I think he also said that was high, so that ends up being a free kick for Great Britain. Said no opportunity, also said a high tackle, so Great Britain gets the ball back. It is kicked out, and it goes bouncing. Boy, wind really escalating here as our tent is trying its best to stay alive as the ball comes up in the air. That's not quite intercept marked it by Newman, but he tries to keep the ball in front of himself. As contest on the ground, all kinds of hands involved. Decaux is right in the middle of everything again for France, as the French is feeling the pressure here. I think they're calling for a high tackle, and there's accusations of the duck, and things escalating here again, David.
Yeah, a little bit of crankiness between these two teams right now. Here's a ball up. That is Joe Moore with the hands, picked up by France. He gets tackled by several Bulldogs. And this will be another bound up just in front of our There Live broadcast position. And France picks it up. Too far for Decaux, but he picks it up. He gets tackled right away, but keeps it forward of himself. Gets tackled by, I think that was Bernard. And this will be a free kick to Clement Decaux.
Move it on. Play on.
Kicks towards the forward 50. Lots of players in that pack. Cleared by the Great Britain defense. It finds grass, but ball near the boundary. All kinds of players around, and that goes over the boundary. Will be another boundary throw in. And there's a little bit more pushing there by Aubert and another Great Britain player.
Yeah, physical brand of football being played here as we're coming up on about 10 minutes in. Soon France will actually be able to go to the full 18 men. Ball goes up in the air. Tap won originally by Great Britain. Hands on the ball. Again, Great Britain kicking to that Toronto end. There's a
good work, everyone.
Looking for a forward 50 entry as we're going to ball up. As umpire complimenting the skills of all the players involved there. As we'll get another ball up. Ruck contest, won initially by Great Britain, and now the ball will come the way of the French. Hands swatting it, swatting away like we're swatting at wasps here in the broadcast booth. As hands are up by the French, and again, not a lot of space, not a lot of opportunity, and that means the umpire gets to claim the ball again for another ball up.
So this tournament has been great, but I won't miss the wasp. Here's a that gets picked up by Timothy Lang. Kick now picked up by Modet. He kicks it. That's too high for the intended target. In the pocket. Great Britain defense trying to gain control.
Yeah, he got it.
And let's have Brian Barish on the boundary.
Yeah, we're just keeping an eye over on Joe Moore on the Great Britain bench. He's sitting there right now. I think he might have a bit of a leg issue, but we'll double check on that. It looks like Marco Pinto is back out there. I didn't see him on the bench. He looked like he was in some discomfort, as we said, with that rolled ankle. But it looks like, but I don't see him on the bench, so I can only guess he's back out there on the ground. And Enzo Nebo was getting his right thigh tapped up. So yeah, this game not for the faint of heart, even though it is only a de facto third place game.
Shows how much these players want this game. France and Great Britain, as we've noted, very historic rivals in almost everything.
In life, not just sport.
It was something about 100-year war or something. Anyway, this won't go for only go for 80 minutes, but it's still a bit of a war at times here. France gains control, kicks and marks. So this will be a kick at goal. Number 9. Pierre Beaucaire of the Paris Cockerels. Certainly a veteran forward for the French.
Has the lone goal today as well. Looking for another one.
See if he can get a second. The kick's away. It definitely has the legs. Does it have the direction? It does. And that will be the French second goal of the game.
Yeah, long kick from Payable, and that is a key one here for France. Moves them within 7 points. 3-2-20, 2-1-13 on the Payable app scoreboard. And boy, if I was a French coach, I would have to be very happy with how the team has kind of turned the game in the second quarter. We always talk and tell people they should visit Mississauga.ca, but the traffic has been primarily going to the Toronto end of the field as France turning things on a dime here as we check in with Brian Barish in the boundary.
Yeah, Pat, you mentioned the wind blowing in. Just checking and taking a look at the weather, we're about half hour away from some rain activity, which is definitely going to mess with the conditions. And once that sets...
Well, thanks to the meteorologist Brian Barish, that is going to be very interesting to watch in the third quarter as the ball goes bouncing around. Of course, that will affect the conditions for the grand finals between USA and Ireland later today, David.
It sure will. This wind could be in effect too. That was an impressive kick given the wind. So France really with a good reply here in the second quarter so far. We'll see if that continues. And there's a mark by Orion Richard. So they clear it from their end of the ground. Another mark, but here's a play on the Lake Ontario side. Here's a little kick. Nicely defended. I didn't see the number for Great Britain.
It's fine.
Lots of players around the ball. Great Britain gains control. Here's Owen Ryland. Kick towards, but there's an intercept marked by France. This will come back. This is Boucher. Boucher kick, long kick. Defended well. Picked up by Crepon. And that's an intercept mark by number 36, George Bowman.
Of the Wolverhampton Wolverines as the ball is kicked across as Great Britain on the move here. Contest for the ball. Galler is involved. He's pushed, and you can hear the Great Britain bench hollering for a push, and they do get that call. So play on for Great Britain off the free kick. Bounce of the football there, and it's handballed out the back, and it's intercepted promptly. No look pass didn't pay off as Yoann Thierry gets it for France. Ball along the 50-meter arc here. Bouncing, who wants it? It's tapped along the ground as it'll come to British hands here as we've got a little less than 6 minutes left in the second quarter. Ball goes way up, and a nice mark in front of our E-There live broadcast location by Edward Roberts of the North London Lions. He'll send that skyward. Up in the air it goes. It's punched out, and it comes to Tucker. Tucker will give that a boot, and it comes into the 50-meter arc. Stays in the 50-meter, at least temporarily. Shallow entry is quickly cleared out, but then it comes back to Great Britain pause, and we'll get a whistle from the umpire.
Edward Roberts does ultra marathons. If even watching this makes us feel out of shape, that really will do it.
Not for me.
I could hardly run a kilometer. Anyway, here we go. That's a mark for France. For Great Britain. The far side of the field. Ball bouncing. Picked up quickly, and a quick tackle. That was Aubert that was tackled. Tackled there by Kai Andrews. Certainly the physicality in evident in this game. Free kick here given to Great Britain. A little do-si-do there. Kick down the wing off of hands. Ball now still in Great Britain hands. They're kicking towards the Visit Mississauga end. There's a race for the ball. Going towards is Welton. Welton, though, is taken care of very quickly, and this will over the boundary and will be a boundary throw in the forward pocket for Great Britain.
And there was nobody in that forward pocket just seconds ago, and Welton was trying to make his way there, but wasn't able to save the ball. Ball is fired up into the air, and it's tapped forward. Nice job there by Ross Denton, the co-captain. Ball goes for a ride, and it's kicked through, and that is going to be, I don't know if that was fully across the face. I think it was. So the ball will come back out, and umpire at the end of the field will give that ball a throw into the other pocket here as we have a 20-13 scoreline in favor of Great Britain.
Boundary throw in. This will go just outside the goal square. It gets off hands, but that kick by the French defense goes right in the hands of Paul Sever. Quick kick, and that is the chop of the arms, I believe, and will be a free kick to number 24, Jack Coughlin.
Yeah, they're going to pay the mark regardless, because as you said, he got the contact from the arm, so he's got an opportunity here.
Oh.
Yeah, don't give anything away, everyone.
Bit of a tight angle here. Would think he would kick a goal, though. Let's say it's Going to be about a 40-meter kick. It goes well right, but it does go 4 behind, and that will make it 3 goals, 3 behinds, 21 points for Great Britain. 2 goals, 1 behind, 13 points on the Payable Labs scoreboard.
Yeah.
We have just under 3 minutes remaining here in the second quarter.
Bit of a quirk of the field there. I think that might have actually hit the leaves before it even went through the behind post, but the goal umpire was on top of it, so a minor score it is. Now the ball back into the corridor, and it'll come back out towards the boundary. We have a race on there as Thomas Crapin was involved. He's called Billy in some corners, number 1 for France. Ball comes up in the air. Don't know if that was the required 15. Umpire says that it was, and they choose to play on anyway. Ball comes up towards the left side, and it's marked there by Great Britain. Tough in this level to get successive marks together. There's one for the British, though, in the middle of the field, backing up to take space, take evaluation of all options. Another mark there by Tucker. Great Britain attack now is on in the final few minutes here of quarter number 2 as they work their way up the middle of the field. See Tucker directing traffic there like he's working at ATC at Pearson as the ball goes way up in the air. Who wants it? What a nice catch there and a nice mark for Jack Coughlin. Could be a Payable Labs mark of the tournament. He's got a chance to score here.
Really nice running, jumping mark there. That was beautiful by Coughlin, and he will get a chance to kick a goal here.
This way, 24, 24.
And you'll see on the replay there, that is a beauty mark.
Nobody else
And he gets the rewards here. See if he can kick it through the big sticks. Be from about 40 meters. It looks like it's not going to make the distance, and that's swatted away by the French defense over the boundary line, and will be a boundary throw-in.
Yeah, I believe that was Benjamin Mite who was doing some great work there, protecting the goal line and swatting that out to prevent the score, although it does become a 50-50 proposition here for Great Britain.
Swatting like we've been swatting away wasps.
Yeah, except this guy was actually successful in getting rid of the ball, as the ball will come back up into the goal square, and it's swatted again, and we still have a contest in the ground, and not really any opportunity there to play the ball, so I think that's going to end up in the hands of the umpire again. We have under a minute to go here in the second quarter. A bit of good quarter of footy, especially I think France kind of chipping away into the game, although it's a big opportunity to score here for Great Britain.
2 meters. 2 meters.
It looks like it's a free kick for Great Britain in the back, perhaps.
2 meters that way.
So this is Coughlin again. Certainly been has had a lot of effects in this game in the last few minutes. See if he can another try at goal here. It's up and away, looks right, looks well right, and it is out on the full, so will be a free kick to France.
Yeah, a little bit of salt in the wound there by Johan Thierry. Gave him the little tap there for a bit of a taunt, I suppose, all in good fun, as the ball will be kicked out towards the left side of the field. This contest, Thierry is involved in that contest, but it's going to be Reese gets the ball. He'll move it to Coughlin. Coughlin kicks it out towards the goal square. Ball ends up on British hands, but they are going to run out of time. But they have held on to their lead here through one half of football. It is Great Britain 3-3-21, France 2-1-13 on the Payable Labs scoreboard. As we are now going to check into the boundary with Brian Barish.
The wind is just picking up here, as that's basically what it is in this halftime. We're going to have an interview with Jacob from AFL Canada at halftime, so stick around.
Yeah, look forward to hearing that. Again, 3-3-21, 2-1-13. Great Britain leads France. Patrick Smith alongside Patrick McNeil alongside David Smith. Boy, you know it's been a long week when. That's what's going on
We've known each other a long time. We're not quite relatives yet.
I basically feel like it at this point. That's what's gone on the first half of football here at Colonel Samuel Smith Park at Humber College in Toronto. We'll take a break, as I understand Brian's got something cooking for us at the halftime, so we'll check in when we come back. You are watching the 2024 Transatlantic Cup, courtesy of eThere Live, streamed on YouTube via AFL Canada.
AFL has huge potential, not only in Colombia, but also Latin America. And Orica is really excited to be part of that story.
Los lazos humanos entre Colombia y Australia son de una importancia altísima. Para ambos países el deporte es algo muy importante en la vida. Tenemos las culturas muy similares en este sentido, con los valores de equidad de género, de participación. En la cancha todos somos iguales.
Mi vida siempre se basó en el tema del deporte, porque el deporte a mí me salvó de todo aspecto posible, que normalmente en la juventud no. El tema de alcohol, de vicios y demás, a mí llegó a mi vida fue el deporte. En el 2019 tuve un accidente de tránsito donde las oportunidades de volver a tocar una cancha eran nulas. Aún los médicos me dicen, tú cero deporte, cero correr, jugar, saltar, deportes de contacto. Siento que mi familia en esa parte forma un pilar importantísimo. Mi mamá estuvo conmigo y me cuidó como nadie lo hizo, porque era la que tenía y se aguantaba la de mamá, no quiero a nadie en este momento.
AFL Colombia has the potential to have long-lasting impacts in the communities. Entonces, Alejandro, Oscar y Stefania, we chose these players as the future leaders because they showed throughout the selection process and throughout their time in the organisation that they are future leaders and they are really focused on developing others.
O sea, la idea es crecer aún más, estar en un nivel alto para así poder llegar y enseñarle a todos a mis compañeros.
Para mí la beca es una oportunidad enorme, una oportunidad que no se le presenta a cualquiera, una oportunidad que ya tenía mi nombre destinado en ello. Voy a vivir siempre agradecida con este deporte porque me dio una luz, porque yo vivía mi vida después del accidente, vivía mi vida, pero no era feliz. Cuando conocí el deporte y empecé a jugar de nuevo, y vida está de testigo, mi vida cambió.
That's the culmination of a lot of work for a lot of people. A heap of people have contributed to this, and it's great to see them living out their dreams, and you know, we're all very excited for them, and it's going to be great.
Great news, sports teams. Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Setup is easy. Install the Payable Forms add-on. Link your payment provider, share, and get paid. Players can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more, streamlining the process for them, all while you stay organized with real-time updates. Registrations, uniforms, races, sponsorship, clinics, coaching, training, and classes. Keep it simple with Payable Forms.
Aussie Rules the World podcast is a podcast dedicated to bringing our listeners information from international Aussie rules, from news, reports, reviews, and interviews from people dedicated to building Aussie rules internationally. During the Transatlantic Cup, World Footy Shorts will be bringing you daily updates from what's happened from the games and around the event. And this is Aussie Rules the World podcast.
And welcome back to the 2024 Transatlantic Cup being streamed on There Live on YouTube, courtesy of AFL Canada. Patrick McNeil alongside David Smith. Also, Brian Barish is with us on the boundary. Brian's got a special guest. Tell us all about it, Brian.
Yeah, Pat, contrary to popular belief, these tournaments do not just spring up out of the ground like flowers. There's actually a number of people who are responsible for putting this together, and the man who's director of AFL Canada, Jacob Heusler. And, you know, we're here on day 10. How are you feeling about this tournament?
Tired, but no, it's been a fantastic tournament. The participation, the crowd, it's all been played in really great spirits, and the contribution, from everyone, broadcasters, umpires, staff, players, coaches, everyone. It's just been fantastic. So it's been a brilliant 2 weeks.
What does it put together? Parts, because you're dealing with the teams, you're dealing with a lot of things on the local side with sponsors. Talk us through a little bit about that process.
Yeah, a lot of communication, which has been really great, but also a lot of volunteers really helping out and doing their part. So people taking care of umpiring, again, people taking care of broadcast, ground setup, all of that sort of stuff. It really comes down to the local volunteers that we have here who've been amazing and couldn't have been done without them.
And lastly, talk about football here in Canada. Obviously growing. We're seeing, especially like out in the eastern part where our colleagues are from, out in the AFL Atlantic, obviously here in Ontario, out in the West Coast, and also in Alberta. What is the state of Aussie Rules football here in Canada as you see it from your position?
Yeah, definitely growing and expanding as well, which is great, into new areas. So we're active in 9 provinces now, which is amazing. And as you said, new teams popping up everywhere in PEI and St. John recently, but also junior program. As junior football is a massive program, a massive focus. So we've got junior centres, Ottawa, Calgary, Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, all over the shop now. So really trying to create that love of footy at an early age.
Well, congratulations on a very successful tournament. Best of luck the rest of the season across Canada, and thanks for all you do for the sport here in North America.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, fellas.
And Brian Barish joined by Jacob Heusler. Great to interview, great to hear from Jacob. And again, it has been a great week of footy, Dave. It's our final day calling the action, day 10, and we've got a good one going here between France and Great Britain at the half. Great Britain up 21-13. What have you seen so far? I would say, pretty safe to say, it's still anyone's game.
Absolutely. We talked about going into that second quarter. Would France be able to get a reply after the good first quarter by the Great Britain? And certainly they have. So they're within 2 kicks here. Before we start, the third quarter, let's go over the goal kickers in that first half. For Great Britain, Ross Denton, Jack Coughlin, and Stephen Wilton with all singles. Pierre Bacquer for France kicked both for them.
Indeed, that is what it looked like in the first half of football. I thought the first quarter was Great Britain, second quarter was France. Great Britain is in white. They're kicking towards Toronto, right to left on your screen. France is in blue with the white shorts. They are kicking towards the visitmississauga.ca, and they are going left to right on your screen. Of course, you absolutely should visit Mississauga with its hundreds of must-see attractions, world-class eats, and gorgeous scenery. It is yours to explore. Visit mississauga.ca, and certainly thank them for the support they've given us this week. Again, this is the third quarter. What is the de facto third-place game? If you look at the Vision Glass standings, courtesy of Vision Glass Toronto, these two teams with 3-1 records heading into today's game. So whoever wins this, I think, can declare themselves the quote-unquote bronze medalist. I'm Patrick McNeil, and I am joined by the next voice you're going to hear, David Smith.
Ruck, here we go for the start of the third quarter. Off the hands of Statham. Ball, though, finds ground. Lots of players around the ball, and this will be another quick ball up here as we start the third quarter. As Patrick mentioned, 8-point lead for Great Britain. Just starting here in the third quarter. The ball bouncing on the ground. It's been there a lot so far in the third, but France gains control, kicking towards the visitmississauga.ca end. Can't get the mark. Picked up by the Great Britain defense, British defense. Kick towards the wing. In front of us here, chasing after it is Matty Morris. Bumped by fellow number 11, Modet. He gains control. Kicks towards the visitmississauga.ca end. But the Great Britain defense holds, and that will be a mark for number 6, Edward Roberts of the North London Lions.
Yeah, nice mark for Edward Roberts. He sends the ball up on the left boundary, and it comes to French hands here as ball booted. A nice mark there by Clement Decoux, who's all over the field for France. Bit of a general out there, and they'll boot the football. Strength to that kick. Does he have an open man? He does, but unfortunately for him, it's one of the players in white. I think that was Jacob Tucker of Great Britain that marked that ball. No, correction, it was Joseph Lillis. Saw the 4. Thought I saw 0, but there wasn't. It was number 4, Joseph Lillis. He'll kick the ball along the left side and will stay in Great Britain hands, backing up off the mark, and it'll be booted up. Here's an opportunity, and the ball will go bouncing towards the 50-meter arc. Comes on to French hands again here as it's kicked out to the side. Action along the boundary. The 2 number 6 is going at it. And you hear a high contact from the umpire.
No, wasn't continuous.
And Great Britain tried to play on there. Umpire was not having that, so the free kick will be peeled back to the spot of the infraction for Edward Roberts.
Edward Roberts of the North London Lions. A wing, right in the hands of Deku. But Great Britain gains control again and then gives it away on the intercept mark by Modet. Modet. France gets it up the field. Picked up there by the big Toto Thomas Lachelle. Ball on the ground, now picked up by Newman. That's kicked. Not marked, it's on the ground. Been on the ground a lot here in this third quarter. Not a lot of clean play.
Throw.
And that will be a throw and a free kick for France. They're seeing if they can get closer in this game.
Okay, yeah, you're good, yeah.
And it's number 4,
Stay out, GB.
Peel Roar. He kicks it. Long kick towards the pocket, but too far for the intended target, and that is in the hand of Big Joe Moore.
Switch across to the other side of the field. Ball is up in the air. That'll be marked by Edward Roberts, who's becoming more of a presence as this game goes on for Great Britain. He's going to back up, give himself a better angle. He'll kick along the left boundary. Does he have a lead? No, it's going to end up in French hands, as that was Simon Modet. Will kick. He'll switch to center. You hear the Allez le Bleu chants from the French supporters. The women's team was here to cheer the men on, is backing up to take the mark. French free kick off the mark. Boucher will boot it forward at a contested mark, and in the contest there for France, winning that football.
Going straight back,
and that is going to lead for a kick to goal here. Looks around the 50-meter arc and taking his time here. That is going to be Tabalou with the ball for France. He's got an opportunity to kick this in from about 55 or 60 meters. Tabalou lines up the free kick. Again, it is 3-3-21, 2-1-13. He assesses his angle, gets it off the boot. Doesn't look too bad. That's what the goal umpires are going to adjudge. Whether or not that went through, but it is a minor score, so it changed the score to 3-3, 21, 2-2, 14 here as Great Britain ahead on the Payable app scoreboard by 7.
7-point lead for Great Britain. There's a bounce, so they'll try to get it out of their defensive part of the field. Off of the French player, picked up by Richard. Off the hands of Boubet. Here is Deku. Deku kicks, but that looks to be right to the defender for Great Britain. And indeed, that's a mark in the defensive part of the ground for Great Britain. Kicked out. Not the greatest kick. Hits grass, and France will try to gain control. Big battle for the ball. Lots of players around. The umpire will say, that's mine. It's a ball up.
Yep, ball up again. Very close game we've got brewing here in this third quarter. Early on in it. Hands are on the Great Britain hands are on the ball. There's a tackle. Pressure was coming, and that's holding the football call, so that will be a free kick to the French just outside that 50-meter arc as they're trying to chip away here. As the ball in French hands, French feet, I guess we can say. So we're past the 5-minute mark of this third quarter. Kick goes towards the goal square. Might have been a push in the back there, but...
The French want it, but he's
got it.
Yes, indeed. Free kick for France. So this will be a kick at goal here. And I believe it's Bosquer. So he's already kicked 2. Looking for the quick hat trick, if you want to use a hockey term. Let's see if he can do it. This would it would be game on if he can get this one. It's away. Looks pretty good. The French like it, but not enough. It's a behind, and that will be It's within a kick now on the Payable app scoreboard. It's Great Britain 3 goals, 3 behinds, 21 points to France, 2 goals, 3 behinds, 15 points.
As David said, just the 1 goal. The difference now is ball along the boundary, same amount of behinds, 1 more goal for Great Britain. Ball on the boundary on the Lake Ontario side of the field. I think the ball ended up going out. It is the Allez Le Bleu chants intensify there by the French women cheering on their counterparts. Been great to see that camaraderie throughout the tournament for sure between the men and women counterparts. Ball in dispute here. Not much in the way of prior opportunity. So the ball will go up in the air once again as it's tapped forward. And ball in dispute again along the ground. Let's quickly check in with Brian Barish in the boundary.
Yeah, Joe Moore, we mentioned he was having trouble with his right leg. It's all strapped up. He just came from the ground in considerable amount of pain, so we'll keep an eye on that as well. But he is stepping very, very gingerly over on the bench.
Yeah, the attrition continues in a game like this. The physicality getting ramped up. Final game. And of course, both of these teams want to have national pride. Again, it is a de facto third place game between these two teams. So both 3-1 heading in. As another contest all on the ground. And boy, Dave, we're not seeing a lot of space for the players to move the ball at this point in the contest. It is a free kick to France, though. Or free kick to Great Britain, sorry.
Great Britain. So they really haven't had the ball down their score again much here in this third quarter. France has really had control both territorially. And there's a 50-meter penalty on the mark. So this will be another opportunity for France to get another forward 50 entry. France has been in control here and gets a mark. I believe that's Decoux just inside the 50-meter arc. So he handballs it. Bit of dancing around. Back to Decoux. And there's a tackle. So he got the ball away fairly, and I believe this is a throw. And again, some tempers flaring here between these two teams. The play goes on though. Kick up the line, right in front of the French flag made from balloons over there. There's a kick towards the British forward 50. It's on the ground. French defense holds and clears the ball.
That ball's way up in the air. Who wants it? Going to come to French hands. Decoux's got it again. He'll boot it through the middle. And that is going to be intercepted there by Newman. Newman on the right side of the field. Ball will go bouncing out. And that was a best attempt there to keep that in. I think that was Edward Roberts sprinting towards the boundary line, but wasn't able to get it. I think they're going to pay that as deliberate. So it'll be a free kick for France here as we're about 9 minutes into the third quarter. No, I thought it might be a deliberate, but no, it's the umpire ball. Just that will be a boundary throw in. And the ball comes up. And we have a rucking contest here, and it's tapped forward by French hands as Crepin is after it. And again, not a lot of space. Another quick tackle, seeing a lot of that here in this third quarter. And again, the ball comes back into the hands of the umpire. Another ball up. Tap, and it's going to be the French winning that contest, at least in the interim. And again, ball once again goes to ground. So things being ground to a halt here, David.
Absolutely. It's a lot of balls up here between these two teams. Great Britain does gain control, though. Gets a kick down the line. Kick from the pocket off of hands of, I think that was Denton. Now, lots of players around the ball. Denton indeed. Going hard at the ball. There's a kick towards goal. And it went across the face and I believe went out of bounds here in the forward end for Great Britain. Yeah, this will be a boundary throw in.
Yeah.
Great Britain trying to stem the tide a little bit. France has had a lot of the play here in the late of the second quarter and here in the third. Denton with it goes to Morris. Can't get the ball past the French defense. They clear, but there's a mark for Great Britain, and it's going to come right back.
Yeah, big opportunity here for Callum Jenkins, and he'll kick it along the right side. No mark completed there. Ball in dispute as it comes back up high in the air, and who is going to get it? Hands are up for both sides. Great Britain hands get it, and again, Great Britain kicking it down on the left to right side of your screen as the ball booted out towards the forward 50. It's up in the air. That is marked cleanly, and now France is a get-it-a-jail card there as that's booted out by Aurélien Richard. As the ball along the ground, and it's picked up. I thought it was going to be picked up. And we get a whistle from the umpire. Again, we're past the halfway point here of this third quarter as we get a Great Britain free kick.
Free kick. Certainly have had the ball a lot the last few minutes here in this game. But there's an intercept mark by the defender of France. So they'll get out of trouble quickly here. Handball. Kicked up. Doesn't go very far. The intended target was Deku, but in there was Reed. There's a free kick given to Deku. And he went over. Oh, no, sorry. The free kick goes to Adam Reed. Adam Reed kicks it towards Morris. He can't pick it up, but there's a dangerous situation here.
Get it out, guys.
Lots of players around the ball. Here's a quick kick at goal by Welton, but it goes well wide over the boundary line. It'll be a boundary throw-in in the forward pocket for Great Britain.
Yeah, indeed. More good work there by Welton, but ultimately no one able to really claim the ball here, and the ball will be thrown out by the umpire at the end of the field. So not a bad situation here for Great Britain to be in. A 50-50 proposition in the forward pocket. As the ball comes up into the air, it's a tap backwards, but not to British hands, and that will be booted skyward out towards the middle of the field. This contest in the air, and that will end up being a French free kick. They decide to play on. Ball comes out. Slightly veering towards the right side near our There live broadcast location. Balls bouncing along the ground unpredictably as it tends to do. Kick along the left boundary and not able to mark it. Deku, who else was first to it for France. Ball will go squirting. A nice job of socking that off by Severs. He didn't really have any other play. France takes possession. Ball comes back towards their forward 50. Up in the air it goes. As ball bouncing along, Oliver Reese is after it, trying to protect the ball. He saw traffic was coming. He might try to push that through for a behind. And that ended up going between the two big sticks. Is that going to be considered off a French foot? We might have an informal scorer's review here, David.
It's a behind, so that will be the scoreboard will go for only a 5-point lead here for Great Britain. No goals here in the third quarter. Been a bit of a stalemate between these two teams. France inching towards
I don't know if it went
getting
off
this
or
game closer, but haven't been able to kick it through the big sticks so far here in the third quarter. Picked up. There's a nice tackle by Duku. Who else? And this is a free kick, so this is another opportunity for France. Kicking towards the Mississauga.ca end. Mississauga is yours to explore. So, directing traffic. Looking to see if he can get a teammate here. Kick towards the pocket. Wide open player there was Tabayou. Don't know how you miss.
Tabayou was wide. He was anywhere near him. Nothing but runway.
Wide open as Lake Ontario there. So, see if he gets a kick at goal. Looks like will be about 30 meters away. He's calling for over the mark there. That goes right. It doesn't go over. It doesn't get enough space. There's all kinds of players around the ball. I have a water carrier in my way as well. So this is a mark there for Great Britain, and they clear out off of Matty Morris. Morris kicks it to Paul Sever, and Great Britain is away.
Yeah, big kick by Sever. What a nice mark that was by Andy Walkden. Used the handball option on the left. Great play in transition here for Great Britain. Ball coming into the forward pocket, and ball will squirt towards goal line. France using some handballs to try to get that out of trouble. It'll be skyward up, and arms are up there for a French mark as this game moving quickly up and down the field at the moment. Centering kick, and it's marked there by France's Johan Thierry. Thierry will take a boot, and it goes bouncing along the ground. No mark there, so it's free for the taking. As handball by Great Britain. Ball loose along the ground. Where will it go? As 4:32 the time left here in this third quarter. The pressure immense on the contest. It's booted high up in the air, and it's pushed away. And chasing after it there is Coughlin, as he's one of a number of people in the contest. Great Britain again in white, France in blue. As the ball dribbling to that 50-meter arc. Pressure is there. Umpire tells him to play on. Contest goes to the ground again, and we'll get a reprieve here from the action. Don't know if there was much in the way of prior. I think the umpire's coming to take the ball for a ball up.
Here's a ball up. It's towards the end for Great Britain, and they pick it up. Oh, there's a don't argue. Kick towards their forward 50, a big leap and a big mark. That's a nice one. And Great Britain will see if they can kick the first major here in the third quarter.
Yeah, huge mark for Great Britain. That was Ross Denton.
Ross Denton.
Yeah, definitely a contender for Payable Apps mark of the tournament, as Denton has an opportunity inside the 50-meter arc. He'll take a kick towards goal. Looks pretty good coming off the boot, and that is going to be a major score for Great Britain. That moves it to 4-3, 27 to 4-16. British out in front by 11. Huge goal for them to kind of get the scoreboard back in their direction.
Absolutely. French seem to have a lot of the play late in the second quarter, early in the third, but Great Britain gets it downfield quickly. A great mark there by Denton, and his second of the game. And that will extend their lead here in the third quarter.
Yeah, beautiful mark, beautiful kick from quite a distance as well. And of course the ball will come back to center. So we are in the third quarter here. It is a lead by 11 for Great Britain. Ball booted out and almost marked there, but it is going to be France playing on. Kick towards the middle, hands are up, batted forward by Newman. Ball comes back along the ground, and the French pressure comes. Battle for the ball along the ground. It's going to be booted forward. No mark there because the ball is just bouncing, dribbling, and it finds itself at a play. As looks like 2:20 left. Again, that score clock is unofficial, but it is a Great Britain ahead 4-3, 27 to 4-16. France on the Payable App scoreboard as the umpire gets ready to throw the ball in. Of course, the balls are being provided by the Australian High Commission to Canada. They're sponsoring all the balls throughout the tournament, responsible for advancing Australia's interest in Canada. Don't forget to visit canada.embassy.gov.au.
Ball in the goal square, kicked out by the Great Britain defense. The French defense. Just ball just bouncing around like a volleyball there.
Right here.
But this will be a free kick given to Thierry of the Bayonne Toreadors.
Got a ball in the defensive pocket for France. He'll boot it up. Kicking a straight line. No one's able to mark it. Comes along the boundary here on our There Live broadcast location. Of course, we get a battle along the ground as involved in that contest. It was Beaucaire for France, and he'll hand the ball off to Chris Fearon, a.k.a. Fizza, plays in WA with the Osborne Park Football Club. He'll kick it out, and I thought that might have been marked. It was not, so there's a contest along the ground here as we have a little more than a minute left, and another contest on the ground. The space disappearing here, so you can see the tugging and whatnot. Then the umpire, I think, is coming in to say, that's my ball, and he'll throw it up for a ball up.
Last minute here in the third quarter. Great Britain leading by 11. This is still a good contest between these two teams. There's Ducou again. Couple handballs, that's lost by Ducou. Great Britain asking for a free kick. And instead, it's Ducou with the free kick. Approaching 30 seconds left here in this third quarter. That's off of hands, picked up by Adam Kelly of Great Britain. Passed along to Ryland. Ryland kicks towards their forward 50, but there's an intercept mark. Defensive play there by France, and they should clear. Approaching the last 10 seconds here in this third quarter. Can either team get it down their end? It's along the wing. Well, swing and a miss with the kick there, and France gains control. Last few seconds here in the third quarter. There's a mark by, I didn't see the number, and there's the horn. So that ends this third quarter with Great Britain 4 goals, 3 behinds, 27 points to France, 2 goals, 4 behinds, 16 points.
Yeah, pretty good third quarter of football, and the Great Britain team was kind of bending, but a big goal, I think, is kind of tilted things back in their direction. But 11 points certainly would be anybody's contest here heading into the fourth quarter. We'll talk a little bit more about that when we come back, but it is 27-16 on the Payable Apps scoreboard. You're watching the 2024 Transatlantic Cup, coming to you live from Colonel Samuel Smith Park at the campus of Humber College, produced exclusively by There Live, streaming on YouTube, courtesy of AFL Canada.
Great news, sports teams. Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Setup is easy. Install the Payable Forms add-on. Link your payment provider, share, and get paid. Players can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more. Streamlining the process for them, all while you stay organized with real-time updates. Registrations, uniforms, races, sponsorship, clinics, coaching, training, and classes. Keep it simple with Payable Forms.
And we're back here at the 2024 Transatlantic Cup. Windy weather here on the field as we're going to have the fourth quarter coming up. Great Britain ahead 4-3-27. France is 2-4-16. I'm Patrick Neal alongside David Smith as the French balloon flag that David was talking about earlier. Is you can just see that on screen. I think meteorologist Brian Barish might have something for us there on the boundary. What do you have, Brian?
Yeah, Pat, in front of the eThere live cameras, it's you see a pretty big patch of blue, but behind our commentary position, it is gray. It is foreboding, and about in the next 10 minutes, the rain's going to set in. Dean Thomas just unleashed the spray to end all sprays on his team. He said the players are tiptoeing around too much. They need to be a little bit more aggressive at the football. As for France, they reckon that what they have to do is they can bomb the ball into the forward line. They may be able to take the lead and snatch this one here in this fourth term.
Thanks, Brian. So the weather coming in from the sounds of Brian Barish's report, the storm was on the sideline for Great Britain in the third quarter. They want to hang on to get the victory. How do you see this playing out in the fourth quarter, David? Again, it's 11 points, very much in the balance right now.
This game's up for grabs. This game is up for grabs for sure. If France, particularly if they can have a good start, get a goal in, say, the first 5 minutes, I think Great Britain might start panicking at that point if they can get a quick goal. But as I say, it's just 2 kicks. There's no doubt that France is in this game.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And certainly if France is able to get that early goal, it is going to be on for sure, as it is 4-3-27, Great Britain 2-4-16 for France. Final consolation match, actually, of this tournament. We'll have the grand finals on the women's and men's side. It's going to be Ireland versus USA in both of those contests. Women's game will be after this one, and then the men's game will be the final game of the day, final game of the tournament. 30 games in total, and of course there was a couple of extra games yesterday, development games, a lot of fun football being played. Boy, that ground has taken a beating this week, and it might be taking a little bit more of a beating when this weather comes momentarily. But for now, we're all clear. We've got David Smith talking away with the action.
Ball up to start the fourth quarter. Really interesting one here. Great Britain gains control to start. Here is Coughlin. Coughlin, it's batted ahead. Great Britain kicking towards a visitmississauga.ca end. Here's a bit of a juggle. Kick towards, and this is an intercept mark in the pocket, in the defensive pocket by France.
Gives an opportunity for the French to break out of their defensive 50. Again, they're trailing by 11 points. Still anyone's game here as the ball is pushed up. And it's batted forward by Great Britain. It'll come back to France. Handball option straight through the corridor. Comes to Great Britain hands. It goes up in the air. And it's punched forward. Where is it going to go? It's going to be kicked off French legs, as that was Boucher booting it forward. Ball's on the ground, as who is going to be able to claim it? As some pushing there, and the umpire, I think, will take the ball as we're into the first 45 seconds of quarter number 4 of this final consolation match. Again, the de facto third place game. We can crown whoever wins this game the unofficial bronze medalist. We'll get a second ball up ruck contest. Physicality in the ruck, and it looks like there was some high contact made, so that is going to lead to a free kick to Great Britain coming out of the ruck.
Here's Patrick Statham, easy for me to say. We've talked a lot these last 10 days. Towards the, this is a free kick given to France, so they'll be able to clear. He's sent back. So on the mark there is Matthew Gallagher for Great Britain. This is number 21, Aurélien Richard. Richard kicks it towards the middle of the ground. It bounces, gets picked up by Boubet. Quick tackle, and Great Britain gains control. There's a nice smother, goes right back to Great Britain though. Here's a high ball. they can't mark it. It's right to the right of us here at their live broadcast location. Kick towards a good spot. Can Great Britain gain it? Here's Denton. Here's a bump. Here's a kick towards goal. And it is a behind. So another one to Great Britain. So that will make it 2 straight kicks the difference. 2 straight goals to be clear. As on the Payable app scoreboard, it's Great Britain 4 goals, 4 behinds, 28 points to France, 2 goals, 4 behinds, 16 points.
Yeah, that behind by Jack Coughlin could prove critical as it does make it an even 12-point lead as the ball goes bouncing along the ground on the left side. As France in possession, booted skyward, goes up, and who wants it? It's going to not be marked by anybody. It comes to French hands as they find themselves under pressure. Again, we are coming up at about 3 minutes here in this fourth quarter, and yes, you can start to feel that breeze a little bit. If you heard that huge roar in the background, that was Peter Holden celebrating the fact that the taco truck has arrived today. As the ball is in the pocket here, Great Britain try to get it out of trouble as it's kicked along the boundary. And in position to make a nice mark is Jacob Tucker. He'll back up, look at his options, see what he has. What does he have? He's going to keep that along the boundary. Actually, no, he's going to cut that towards the corner a little bit. And he finds French hands instead. Intercept mark, and is that going to go right back to Great Britain? No, it won't. It's actually going to go out of the boundary as that will lead to a throw in there in the pocket.
Temperature in the air is clearly cooled lately, but the temperature in the game is still hot as we're 2 goals in the difference here in the fourth quarter between 2 rivals, Great Britain and France. France with a attempted kick towards goal. Here's a kick towards some empty space here for Great Britain. Picking it up is Roberts. Handball attempted to Newman. And I think he was caught high. So this will be a free kick to number 23, Callum Newman of the Cardiff Panthers. He was a sprinter at a young age, so that's a useful skill in this game. Here's a kick up the line, but there's an intercept mark by France right in front of the scoreboard there, and you can see the flags. The wind is certainly picking up as well. The conditions, a bit of a challenge here for these players.
Got it away.
And there's a tackle. It's at midfield. Lots of players around the ball.
Yeah, for sure, and I think there might be some speckles of rain starting to come down as well as ball is on the ground. The ground, I say, should probably stay fairly dry for the rest of this contest. But
amateur meteorologist Brian Barish has given us a thumbs up, so I believe that is telling us that Mr. Weatherman over there.
Yeah, Brian is doing a good job keeping an eye on the benches as well, but the weather a growing concern, although perhaps more so for the Irish and Americans who are playing a pair of games later today as both the men and women will go at it in the grand final. Jack Coughlin with a mark as Great Britain kicking towards the visitmississauga.ca end. You absolutely should visit Mississauga with its hundreds of must-see experiences, plenty of gorgeous scenery, world-class seats and events. Mississauga is yours to explore. Coughlin takes a boot at it, and boy, that is going way, way up into the sky. It's batted forward, but in Great Britain hands are on it. And we've got some pressure there, and tackled was Stephen Welton. Not sure if there was anything in the way of Pryor. The umpire's pretty far away from us there, so ball will come to Great Britain for a free kick here as they lead by 12, and perhaps a chance to expand that lead in an important way here.
So this could be a key moment. Definitely seeing some rain coming down here. Kick from the pocket, really tough angle here. It's away, looks pretty good, and they really like it. So does the goal umpire, and that is a big goal for Great Britain. That could be a backbreaker, particularly if the weather gets a little bit rougher here. Big goal for Great Britain.
Youngest player on the team, Matthew Gallagher, the 21-year-old of the Teen Tees Tigers, making his international debut, does Olympic weightlifting, and he's perhaps taken a weight off the shoulders of Great Britain with a key score to put them up by 21 here in this fourth quarter. Final quarter of the tournament for both of these teams. 5-4-34, 2-4-16. Great Britain ahead. Payable app scoreboard.
It's in the middle. Lots of players around the ball. It's a 3 goals and a difference, 18-point difference here with 13 and a half minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Certainly a big task now for France as Great Britain gets the lead out to 3 goals. There's a free kick given to France, though. They need a quick one here, I think, to get a challenge here and get a little bit of doubt in the Great Britain bench. That's not a great kick, and Great Britain gets to clear. Chasing after the ball is Sever. Sever picks it up. He's tackled.
Hey,
Looked like it could have been low. No call. Picked up by Boucher, and they is an intercept mark there for Great Britain.
Yeah, as Great Britain with the ball, and they can now afford to slow things down here, control the clock a little bit. Markle on the sidelines. More great work there by Jack Coughlin's been very good for Great Britain in this tournament.
Yeah, you can see him telling his teammates, slow it down. We no need to rush here. Kick towards the pocket. There's a pretty good mark there, I believe, by Denton.
He's been good today as well.
Similar hairstyle to ours, Patrick, and he'll possibly kick at goal. Pretty quick kick here. Kick for a teammate, but that's in the hands of Deku. Who else?
Yeah, take one guess. He'd probably be right.
Deku is everywhere.
Back this way.
They would have liked 3 or 4 of them, I think, in this tournament. There's a ball up here. Ball on the ground. Picked up by Deku. Handballed, and they clear.
I didn't see it.
That kick right in front of the scoreboard. Pretty good mark there. France trying to get some forward pressure here. Kick. Great Britain has the numbers. It goes off the French player. That was Aubert. The ball is held up, and the whistle goes. It'll be free kick to France, and they're going to get a forward 50 entry here. Let's see what happens here.
Yeah, big opportunity for France. They would love to create something here soon, trailing by 3 major scores. As forward 54 France, Great Britain able to kick it out of trouble though as it comes along the boundary. Nice mark there by the French as that was Boucher with it. He's had a bit of the ball as you'd expect for the captain for France. He'll boot it forward as the ball in the forward 50 in the French attacking end. Ball comes up, it's going to go bouncing. Who wants it? It comes to French hands as it's a physical contest there in the middle of the field, and French able to get it free, kick towards forward 50, and a bit of a juggle there, but it does end up being a mark. I think it was actually Marco Mendra with it for France, and this is a key moment in the game for him. He's going to back up past that 50-meter arc, it looks like. Actually, he's right on the arc. He's got a chance to get a big goal for his team.
You have to think they need this one to get back into it. Here's a kick. That doesn't look like that will make the distance. It does not. It definitely doesn't go through the big sticks. So that will be a behind for France. It does get it down to a 17-point lead, but they need some goals here quick. Great Britain clears it off the ground. Picked up by Kai Andrew.
Got it out.
Gets the handball away, kicks towards, and that's a nice lead and a nice mark by Denton. He kicks it forward, and another mark in the pocket there for Great Britain. This could be the sealer. This is number 13, Andy Walkden of the Manchester Mosquitoes, and he's been a pest for France in this game. See if he can kick it. You would have to think that if he kicks this could salt it away. Here's a kick, and that's well right. I don't think that's going to be anything at all. No, that's out on the full. Will be a free kick for France.
No correction. It looks like there was a behind there, so it is going to move it to 5-5-35 at 2-5-17. But as David's saying, it was offline, and the point is of value, obviously, because it does make a 3 straight score. As some discussion there at the boundary umpire, but it was in fact a behind. We do see the flag waved. As differing eyes with differing opinions there. As the ball on the ground here, as again it is 9 minutes left here. Great Britain ahead by 18 points. France with the ball. Going to need to have some urgency here. They're going to need a major score pretty soon here. Not impossible, but obviously the lower scoring the game it is, the harder it is to get 3 quick goals. As ball on the ground, and Deku is in the contest as well, because of course he is. And boy, we're getting lots of pushing and shoving, and I think that was Aubert that was campaigning for a free kick here, as there is going to be a free kick to France. Deku is, I think that's the Englishman on the mark is waiting, and Deku will use the handball option. As Aubert handballs it over to the right in that center square. Ball goes bouncing along. Who wants it? It's going to come along the ground as we'll watch the final 8:14 of this contest, as it is an 18-point lead by Great Britain. Great pressure there by the Great Britain Bulldogs. And they have watched as France earns a free kick as the ball will be kicked out into the forward 50. It goes up in the air. It's bouncing on the ground. It's tapped out towards the boundary there. And that was knocked out of play by Callum Jenkinson.
Will be a boundary throw in here in the pocket. French score. Oh, I think it was deemed deliberate. So this will be a free kick for France. I believe it's going to Bosquet. He's kicked their 2 goals here in this game. Certainly too far to score. It's kicked high in a pack of players off of Great Britain's hands. They're saying a hold, and I believe it's a free kick to France. So this will be an opportunity for them. They can get this. It keeps some slim hopes alive for France here. Goes quickly, and they like it. There's a goal, their 3rd. And they close this game to just 2 goals in the difference here in the Payable app scoreboard.
Yeah, it's Aurélien Aubert booting that through for Team France. Wasn't going to make any mistake from that proximity. And nice, calm, composed kick through the big sticks. And that makes it a 12-point margin here.
And you noticed he did it quickly. They know they don't have much time. So a good move there to work the clock, as it were. Great Britain, though, gains control. France still needs 2 goals to tie.
Still you, Ian.
Here, Kai Andrew here. Nice bump, but France gains control. Here is Nybo. Nybo right in the hands of George Bowman of the Wolverhampton Wolverines.
Yeah, key intercept mark for him. And again, he's going to take some seconds there to boot that forward. The clock, the friend now of Great Britain, as ball will come back into the French defensive 50. They need to make something happen here pretty quickly as the ball will be kicked. Nice lead there by Decaux. And he'll boot it along. He might push up a little bit. You might see some of the defenders push up for France. They're going to need to kind of get all hands on deck here to see if they can make up this 18-point score. Decaux sending pressure there along the boundary. He knows he's in a hurry here.
Well done, everybody. Good work.
And the umpire praising the hustle of both teams. It is going to be a boundary throw in here, as it's on the side of the eThere Live broadcast location. Ball goes up in the air, and it's tapped forward. Chasing after it, it's handballed across on the right side. Ball goes skyward, up into the air it goes, and it's caught there by the Great Britain player, Andy Walkden, the vice captain. Little short, quick kick here. Don't know if that would have been the required 15, wasn't marked anyway, so no matter. Ball in the defensive 50 here for France. Pressure coming fast. You can hear the cries of ball coming from Great Britain. Play goes right on. It was played to advantage anyway, as the ball will squirt towards the end boundary. France able to keep it in play. Ball kicked along the right side as we're past the 15-minute mark. It looks like on our unofficial score clock. It is Great Britain ahead, 35-23. Ball comes up, intercept mark there. Key mark for Jack Coughlin of Great Britain.
It's off the boot of Kai Andrew. Here's Coughlin.
Still me.
Kick towards their forward 50. Off the body of the French defender. Ball on the ground. Can Great Britain gain control? Have to think if they get a goal here, that will definitely salt it away. And there's a mark. Kai Andrew was all by himself, and he gets a kick. Will take his time to kick, and will be about 25 meters here. Oh, surprisingly, he's going quickly with it. It looks good, but no, it was right, I believe, and that will be a behind for Great Britain, but that does make it a 3-kick game.
Yeah, minor score, but it is an important score in the context of the game as the ball goes up, as that makes it a 13-point margin. Traffic coming, so now the French need 3 scores here in the next less than 4 minutes, and of course it's time on, so you'd have to deduct at least a minute or so for all the post-goal stuff and whatnot, as the ball is going to be kicked on the right side. The Great Britain pressure was coming hard, and that will end up in the hands of
Hodgson, I believe. A beautiful tackle there on Rohr. So that's a free kick to Great Britain, as Reed is wide open but can't take the mark. And there's another free kick on a holding the ball call for Great Britain. They play on. It's kicked towards the goal square. It's kicked in by number 7, Ross Denton, his third of the game. And that will salt this one away.
Yeah, beautiful goal for Ross Denton. And he finds himself alone in the goal square and just boots it through. Of course, he's putting himself in the running for MVP with that goal was Ross Denton. And he has made it 6-6, 42, 3-5, 23 for Great Britain.
You'd have to think it's too hot. And here you see on the replay, he breaks away from the pack and makes no mistake through the big sticks for Great Britain's 6th goal of the game.
GB ball.
As the ball will come back to the middle, and looks like we have a Great Britain player down here.
Warning, guys,
sorry. As the ball will be thrown up.
French in, too many.
And too many in the square there for France, it looks like. And the ball will be given to Great Britain on the free kick.
No, there was 5 in there.
Booted across on the right side. That comes out to
Adam Reed.
He'll boot it on the right side. Ball goes up in the air, and that is going to be marked nicely there. That is
Reese Evans.
Yes. He's got the ball on the right side as we're in the final 2 minutes here. Rain holding off for now. Evans will boot it up, and that comes on to the arms of Jack Coughlin, who's been very good for Great Britain. He'll boot it towards the middle, centering kick. Nobody able to reel that in. And France has it, but they really need to press the fast forward button here as trailing by 19 at this point. Ball comes up, comes onto Great Britain hands, and a bit of a soccer-style header there as Adam Reed was taken to ground. As all the hands in the contest, it's kicked along the right side. Comes out into Great Britain hands, a turn and fire there, goes up in the air. Where is it going to land? Is that going to go through? As we got a scrum here behind the play. It's off camera, and we have some on camera too as well. There's not enough sets of eyes to keep hold on all the action.
Look at this.
You can hear the umpires. The umpires you're hearing are off screen. As either live, they're doing a great job trying to capture all this. As boy, some heated words here as this game is about to come to an end.
Let's go.
As the ball bouncing around here is on back to the on-screen action as Roar will boot it along the right side, and it's kicked out into the 50. As Great Britain hands have it, things seem to have diffused here, so it looks like we'll be able to play a clean end of the game here. Final 30 seconds or so. Ball comes up into the middle. Hands are up. French feet kicking it towards the forward 50. Ball goes up in the air as we've got a contest here. Ball looks like it might squirt out of bounds. Oh, just stays in, and that's booted towards the goal square. And nice mark there completed by Great Britain's Patrick Statham, and that is going to do it. Great Britain is going to hold it down for a victory in this unofficial third place game, 6-6, 42, 3-5, 23, as looked like Statham a little bit slow getting up there, but a big win for Great Britain, David.
Good win, certainly. It was a game where it just looked like Great Britain was able to gain more space than France, and I think that was the key in this one. Good effort, though, by both teams, certainly, as the temperature in the air might be getting higher, but the temperature was hot at times. Certainly some tempers flaring. It's been a long tournament. A lot of tired bodies that could get cranky pretty quickly, I think. But a good game of football. Some nice plays. Pretty entertaining, really, to start the grand final day here at the final day of the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup.
For sure, and nice to see players shaking hands despite everything that we had seen earlier. And if we get a chance, David, let's have a look at the goal kickers for this contest.
All right, for Great Britain, we had Ross Denton with 3, and then singles by Jack Coughlin, Matthew Gallagher, and Stephen Welton. For France, it was Pierre Bocquer with 2, and Aurélien Aubert with 1. And let's go to Brian Barish with the MVP.
Bulldogs is our MVP, Ross. You know, it was a third-place game in air quotes, but they give you a hell of a fight.
Yeah, it was a tough one today. They were playing for pride, so we had a point to prove after losing the last game. Felt like it could have gone another way on a different day, but here we are, and we're playing for some of the boys out there. It's their last game today, so it meant a lot for them.
I know I just caught you at the end of the game. You'll have time to reflect, but right now, sum up the week for you guys.
Really positive. The group came together so well. One of the best groups we've had. We're disappointed, obviously, not to be playing later on this afternoon, but it is what it is. We'll go again in the future. We've got a lot of young guys out there, so happy to go again.
Thanks for talking to us. Congratulations, and good luck the rest of your season. Thanks for coming. Thanks, fellas.
Thanks, Brian. Nice words there from Ross Denton. A nice game for him today, 3 goals, and a nice finish to the tournament for Great Britain. A well-played game of football, I thought, befitting a final day, even if it wasn't for a championship.
Absolutely. Great Britain with really some good football this week. They're not in the big games. They'll be disappointed about that, but certainly both these teams played a lot of good football here this week.
Yep, certainly a shout out to the French team as well. Certainly no shame in their performance today, as that is the final consolation game of the tournament. We've got a couple of big championships coming up a little bit later today.
Absolutely, and I just want to say the grand finals will be called by my 3 fellow broadcasters, the experienced, you, Patrick McNeil, Brian Barish, Peter Holden. This will be my last on-air time here, so I just want to thank you 3 for helping out the rookie broadcaster. You know that I've been a fan of this great game for 35 years and involved for 10. This is a great game, but even better is the people you meet in it, and that hasn't been more evident than this week, so thank you all.
Couldn't agree more, and we certainly thank David for all of his great work this week. We've had a lot of fun, the 4 of us in the broadcast booth, so apologies for all the in-jokes that might be creeping into the broadcast as we go on, but it has been a lot of fun as the rain starts to come down as we head into the grand final portion of the day. But we're going to call it a wrap for now, but stay tuned to this AFL Canada stream again. We've got a pair of great grand finals coming up. Ireland and USA, first in women's action and then in men's action. Should be some great games. So that's what's coming up later today, and that's all coming to you from the campus of Humber College, Colonel Samuel Smith Park. You're watching the 2024 Transatlantic Cup, exclusively produced by eThere Live, streaming on YouTube, courtesy of AFL Canada.